It's recording, and hopefully this is adjusted right. What Austin and I are talking about today is men versus boys. What separates the men from the boys? What does it take to be a man? When are you no longer a boy? And I think about this when I think about Bob Dylan's song, how many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. And it's true, because when you're, walking down the road and the wind's blowing, do you get pushed aside or do you walk down the road? A man walks down the road. A boy might have trouble. Oh, I gotta move away from the wind. I gotta walk this way against the wind. A man walks down the road. And here's Austin on.
Yeah, I think a big part of that is men, take responsibility for their actions. They admit when they're wrong, and they don't keep blaming other people for things that are squarely their fault. I think that's a distinguishing mark of maturity is when we can look at the people around us and not blame them for our poor choices in certain situations, and just be able to just say, okay, yeah, I got myself into this, or I said this and it was not right, or I did this. And I think a man takes responsibility when he knows he's wrong.
Absolutely. And, while we're talking about men versus boys, if you just look at the way a man talks about what he wants, the way a boy talks about what he wants. When a man is talking about what he wants, it's not joke time. It's not time for questions. I want to take you to a movie. I want to get coffee with you. I want to have a good time. I want to go get this food real quick. But a boy, when a boy's talking about what he wants, he's like, oh, hey, and he tries to trick the woman into going to a movie, or, pressure the woman into getting a coffee. A man doesn't have to use games. A man can just, here's what he wants, he's going to lay it out, and he can handle rejection if rejection comes his way. Or he can just be clear to the point, get what he wants, and be a man. Austin again.
And then also, I do think this is important. A man is able to think about long-term consequences of things, as opposed to, there's something in our culture we don't seem to grasp. A lot of people in our culture don't grasp the idea of what long-term fulfillment versus short-term gratification. With sometimes people often do what they think they want at the moment, and then ask the questions about the consequences later. When, one thing about a man, I think, we all could grow in this as people, but we try to do what's in the best interest of our futures, as opposed to just wanting the quick fix, so to speak. We think about how this is going to affect others and how this is going to affect our future and whatnot. We should ultimately try to, think about what's best long term, as opposed to just the here and now, the moment at hand.
Yeah, and another thing about this, while we're talking about this, is we were talking about bullies. Because what is a bully? Why is a bully a bully? A bully is a bully because he's just throwing temper tantrums. He wants to get his way. It's all about, his way or whatever. And, there's a difference between a temper tantrum and handling it. Boys throw temper tantrums. Men handle it. Enough said.
I agree with that, Nick, because how often do we go into an argument with somebody, and we may be right, but we need to think about long term, okay, is winning this argument going to be the best long term thing? Is me being right even if I am right, is this the best possible, is by showing the other person I'm right, is that really going to pay off in the long run? Because you very well may be right in a situation. Like, let's say a husband is arguing with his wife, and he knows he might be right, and she thinks she's right, but in his judgment, he thinks he's right. And what would he do if he were a boy? He would just try to win that argument and just make her feel, like she's wrong because he has to be right, and that's a spirit of pride. But let's say he wants to, make sure that this doesn't drive a wedge between their relationship. It's not all that unwise to let her think she's right, even if she's wrong. Yeah, sometimes, in some situations, because he would rather, be thought to be wrong than to damage their relationship in a way that, and cause resentment between them. So sometimes we gotta choose our battles wisely as men. Not every hill is a hill to die on. We just can't, strap on our battle gear in every argument and fight to the death,
Can I say something?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, here's the thing where I disagree with acting like a child, acting like a boy, acting like a little baby boy, is when the woman is, even if you think she's wrong, if the woman objects, there's a right way to handle it and there's a wrong way to handle it. And the wrong way to handle it is, blah, 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 you can't, blah, 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 this, that, I'm a man, blah, 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 blah. A man will treat a woman with respect no matter what.
Amen. Yes, I agree. I mean, and I think even if he thinks she's wrong in an argument, he's got to treat her well and with kindness. And, I always try, in an argument with a woman, I guess a good general rule of thumb to try to stick to is don't raise your voice above a certain decibel volume. That's for sure. Because women are sensitive. And a man's going to take into consideration the fact that she does have delicate emotions oftentimes. And he's not going to try to just, be so overbearing and strong. He crushes, the woman in his life, and I think it's, there's something sensitive and sweet about a man that can, maybe disagree with her point of view without, emotionally injuring her in the process,
Amen.
I think that's a very nurturing, very loving kind of mentality to have. He doesn't want to do anything that would damage her emotionally or physically, for that matter. And I think men that hit their wives are just, they're boys. They don't know how to handle their anger without taking it out on with physical violence. That's just wrong.
Amen. Are we good?
Yes.